Cool. All right. Hey everyone. Welcome back to What's Up with Trove. This week I'm trying something a wee bit different. If you're seeing the video, audio, I'm hoping there's not much different. I did get my PC back, as you can see, back to my usual recording studio. But if you're watching the video this week, I'm fishing in Trove. Uh, yeah, so I'm just trying something a wee little bit different. Different outlay for the YouTube videos and whatnot. So shoot me up if you hit me up. Let me know if oh hey, there's the fish I was actually looking for. Mark that one off my list. Anywho, let me know if you like it, if you don't like it, and we can change it later, or you can tell me. But yeah, so speaking of fishing this week, it's double speed fishing week. Or yeah, this week the speed of fishing is increased by double. I think is actually what they said. It's either 50% or double, but either way, I figured I'd sit down and do some fishing and record some podcast. So yeah, welcome back to What's Up with Trove. I know I'm late, as crazy as it sounds. I've been very busy. A game that I've been working on for iPhone is getting closer to being finished, being made, and so I have been doing a lot to finish that. And that's I have been doing a lot of Trove, little bits. But so that's actually where I was this weekend. Is I just sat down and I was like, let's work on this. Let's get it closer to being finished. And so that's where I was. But we got a new patch, so very excited for that. It was actually last week that we got the patch, and so I'm a week late. But nothing super new this week in the notes, so it's not like it's going to be any different from our usual format of the show. But anywho. So this patch was the biggest patch since the launch of Trove, actually, which is very exciting because it brought, I think, what is my new favorite content, or new favorite content, which is actually Trove's Endgame, which and I'll talk about it in a little bit. But I think Trove is complete now. How Trove should have launched almost is I kind of wish that they had not launched so much. Well, I'll get into it in a bit. But we got our new class. We got the newest class, which is the Lunar Lancer. It's a nifty class. I'll have to say that. It uses a new weapon type, which is the lance weapon type. Brand new. Nobody else can use it. Lunar Lancer exclusive. But basically, it's a melee class with melee class with physical damage, and it's a shadow giant. So pretty much this class is actually, it's on the video right now, perfect timing. But so the Lunar Lancer uses physical melee. This is so weird. Okay, so distraction over. Anywho, back to business. So the Lunar Lancer, fishing. There we go. Fishing with Tiny 101. So the Lunar Lancer has the usual amount of abilities. Uses physical damage and energy regen, and lots of health is what it seems that everyone's going. Its main basic attack kind of like takes your javelin and stabs it forward in a forward thrusting motion, and it stabs straight through all of the enemies in front of you and does quite a bit of decent damage. But the coolest part of the class, in my opinion, has to be the grappling hook. And now your right click ability is a grappling hook. And basically you take a grapple, you take your lance, and you throw it, and it links to something, and then it comes right, it doesn't come back at you, but it sits there. It does a little bit of damage. And then when you use your right mouse ability again, it pulls you to your lance. It's a grappling hook. And it doesn't do a ton of damage. It's more utility. And there might be some scaling in the future for that ability, for the grapple. But I find it really useful for when enemies knock you back. Normally, you'd have to jump or you'd have to fall to get back to your target or run to them, but with the grappling hook, if you just get in the habit of tossing your grappling hook down as your opener ability, it's right there when you need it, so you get knocked back, you can just zoom straight back into the action and actually get there before everyone else does. So it's more of a utility base ability, and so it makes the Lunar Lancer very, very unique. Now the other ability, its number one ability is it's like a cleave. You take your lance and you swipe it left, and then you swipe it back right, and it does a stun. And that is your main ability right there. You're going to be spamming your number one button a lot because this ability does a ton of damage, and so it's a lot of fun to use that, and it's not boomeranger damage. Like, it doesn't do as much damage as the boomeranger, I think, but it does have its own unique stuff. The other and the main thing that makes this class really useful in a group scenario is its ultimate. And now what its ultimate does is it's called Blessing of the Moon. And what you do is you summon a giant spear into the ground, and little lightning effects go onto the ground, and it creates this AoE area of effect, AoE, and basically increases your health regen and increases your energy regen, and just all around the board, like every stat just boom, skyrocketed through the roof. And it also does damage to enemies in it as well. So it just kind of and everyone just explodes, and voxels go everywhere, and it's insane, and I was like, yay, Lunar Lancer buff. And so it's really, really exciting to see that fall down on the ground, and everyone just gathers up inside it and gathers up the buffs, and everyone's just doing insane damage. It's just crazy, and not to mention it does insane damage too, and that ability is really on a cooldown all the time. Just you see it pop off cooldown, throw it back down. Just that spear should be up whenever you have a chance to throw it down. And then the passive for this class is basically while you're doing your forward jab, your main left click ability, your auto attack, I guess is what you could call it. Basically, you're kind of in the background generating this like lunar source, and you'll notice some little spears going around your character, and those will fill up, and basically when they fill up, you explode into this giant being of lunar lancy ginormous power, and it doesn't really change your abilities, it kind of enhances them. So you get increased attack speed, and so you're doing more damage, and then your grappling hook, instead of a grappling hook, it teleports you to your target or where you throw your spear. It does more damage, and all it basically, when you're in this form, it just kind of it increases everything. And your little swipe ability, when you use it, it pretty much does the same thing as before, just more damage. And it does this new thing called knock up. Basically, so you hit them with your spear and they go whoosh towards the moon, and they just fly up in the air, and then they kind of come back down. Rumor has it, though, on the PTS that's been removed. It's not official that this is going away, but it might be in the near future. So I wouldn't get too used to the knock up of it. But the enhancement of that while you're in that form is just great. And so that's the new class. It's Lunar Lancer. You just gotta get it. You gotta try it, and it's just one of those. If you like it, you like it. If not, you're not. I'm sitting at level 18 right now, so I'm getting used to the class, and it definitely is fun. And I'll probably play it in a group scenario if the group needs it, which is going to be more important in a second. I'll actually get to that, because the newest feature next to the Lunar Lancer, and this is the feature that I have been super, super excited for, and that is Shadow Towers. So first off, there are no more Shadow Arenas. What shadow towers are enhanced shadow arenas. They are what they should have been in the first place, but Trove didn't know what they wanted to do with them yet, so we didn't have shadow towers, but now we do. What shadow towers bring to the game is an end game for Trove. World of Warcraft has end game rating. Rift has end game rating, where you and a group of 2 to 10 or whatever the game of choice has, you go into a dungeon and you fight a bunch of enemies, and then you fight a big boss that has all these enhanced mechanics. Shadow Towers are Trove's raids, and these are just a blast. They're great. The bosses are hard, and it's just insane. So basically, you take and you go to your crafting bench, and you're gonna craft. I think it's like a Shadow Tower portal or something. It's really, really cheap. I can't think of the materials off the top of my head what it takes to make it, but it's really cheap and affordable to make. Really, really easy to get. So basically, you're going to craft that and you put it down, and it says, "Hey, where'd you like to go?" And you tell it which section, whether you want to do normal or hard difficulty bosses. Each difficulty has 4 bosses in it. I'm gonna have to remember these off the top of my head now, and I just did boss guides for them. It's the Spike Spider, I think. Spike Dude, Spike something. He's a giant spider with spikes on it. And then you have, let's see, there's also the second boss is the oh my gosh, I don't remember what it was called. Wow, I'm blanking. I can't believe I'm blanking, and I totally did guides. Here, hold on. I'm gonna look it up now because I have them inside of episodes, YouTube stuff. Okay, so the 4 bosses in order is the Spike Walker, and then the Weeping Prophet, which is like this crazy lady with tentacles and eyes, and she's just really crazy. And then you get the Vengeful Pinata God, which is a giant shadow pinata, and he summons all these little shadow pinata allies that attack you. And then you have the end boss, the 4th boss, which is I would say one of the hardest in a mechanic speaking, is the Goddess of the Moon. Now, and then you have your hard mode difficulties, which come after those. They're the same bosses, just harder. I actually haven't seen any of the bosses in hard mode yet. I'm really excited to. If the hard mode bosses are anything like the normal bosses, then these are a force to be reckoned with. Because the first time I walked into Shadow Towers, I got beat pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I didn't know the mechanics, and so I actually had to sit there and observe the guy. And I'm throwing the term mechanics out. If you're new to MMOs, a mechanic is basically something that the boss does. Trove, before Shadow Towers, the only thing that bosses would do or enemies would do is like do an upper hand smash, and like this force wave would kind of go by and it would hit you and you'd run back up and just hit the boss over and over again. Didn't really care what the boss did, it just would hit you, you'd run back up and hit it again. These mechanics, especially the Daughter of the Moon, they do stuff. And so like the Spike Walker will throw spikes on the ground that do damage, and he'll try to actually stomp on you with spikes, and he'll throw you against the wall, I think. Maybe that's one of the other bosses. And I'm not going to go into too depth of the boss mechanics. I actually shot in my spare time this past week boss guides, mechanic guides for these bosses, and I put them up on YouTube. It's called the Tiny's Tower Tutorial, and it's a series. Right now it's 4 videos, and I'm hoping to get the hard bosses out, but I at least have the normal ones out. And it goes through and you actually watch the fight, and it breaks down mechanic by mechanic by mechanic, and teaches you how to approach these bosses. So check those out if you're more interested in what the mechanics are for the bosses. But these are just a blast. It gives you something to do. You kill the boss, and each boss gives you a reward, which is they give it's like a shadow currency, and you take that, and then it's just like the shadow arenas were before, where you take and you buy certain things, whether it's a mount or a pet or a cage that has flux and eyes and stuff in it. And you go and you buy these, and the boss has a weekly reset on Mondays. You can go and kill the boss again that week, and each week you can kill the boss for rewards. It's really rewarding and exciting and a blast, and it's just fun. I really encourage you to just jump in there with a group, or the first boss, even if you have some decent gear. The Spike Walker is set to Uber 1, and so if you have a decent set of gear, you can actually go in and solo it. But this is really end game group content is what this brings to Trove, and I'm excited. I'm loving it. I'm logging in every week to go in and make sure I get my boss kills, even though the content's only been out for a week. But I was really excited for Monday to roll around so I could go back in and kill these guys for rewards. So it's just great. We also got 4 hard mode difficulties. Normal mode takes shadow keys, and they're gained the same exact ways you got them before. You go into Uber modes and you do dungeon in the Ubers, and you get your shadow keys from the shadow materials, the like the key rings and the key shards, I think they're called. You get those from doing the dungeons, and then in Uber 6, for hard mode only, you have to get what are moon keys, and they are exactly the same as shadow keys, but you can only get them in Uber 6, which means you have to be level 36 or higher to get these moon keys to be able to do the hard mode difficulties. From what I've seen, a lot of people are requiring level 42, which is maxed out level 5 radiant gear all around for these hard mode bosses. So all I can do is perceive what these bosses are based off of the requirements, but I think maybe as time goes on, people will start to learn these mechanics, and they'll start lowering that down, maybe 41, level 40, and more people will actually get to see this content soon. But people have to learn the mechanics, and it takes time. And that's really it for the Shadow Towers. It's kind of hard to describe the content, describe the Shadow Towers, because you just got to go in and see the mechanics. You just got to go in and you got to watch them and just observe the boss. You actually have to go in there and see it for yourself. But they're great, and if it's a sign of what the future of Trove is actually going to be giving us, this is just, it's wonderful, and Trove is going in a great direction, and I am really excited to see where that direction is, and I hope they come out with new bosses every couple months. Also, the other thing about Shadow Towers is the end bosses. Basically, you go in, you use your keys, and you do 4 shadow arenas. They're the exact same shadow arenas as before, with a couple added actual arenas to go into, but you go in, you pop the little chest thing, and the enemies come out, you kill the enemies, and then you kill a little mini boss, and you do 4 of those, and then you fight the end boss at the end. Where was I going with that? I just got distracted. Shoot, I just lost my train of thought again. I don't remember. Oh, that's right. But anyways, so you get to the end boss, and after you're done with that, you get a time, and you're basically timed for that boss, and there's no enrage timer, there's no minimum amount of time for you to kill the boss. You can take all the time in the world if you want to. I think I was in the Daughter of a Loon fight for an hour the first time we were there, because everyone died, and one guy decided to solo it. It was crazy, but it took a long time. And so basically you get a time, and there's a leaderboard on the Shadow portal, and basically you can go in there and you can race with other people, and if you get to the Daughter of a Loon on the hard difficulty, and you are one of the top 100 people to kill the daughter of Elune the fastest, you will receive a purple name color. Just like Mastery gives gold, you're gonna get purple. And I think they said it was toggleable whether you have gold or purple, but purple is exclusive. There will only be 100 people every week that have this color. And the leaderboards reset, and when the leaderboards reset, you lose the purple colored name until you are one of the fastest 100. So it's really interesting, and it's just cool. It's these hard modes, like I said, are for the hardest of the hardcore for Trove, and that's why we have the easier modes for casual people and people who aren't as geared as the higher level people. So really awesome, and I can't wait to see where it goes. And that's enough rambling about Shadow Towers. So we also got some more tomes. Basically, these are legendary tomes. They're purchasable in the store, and also the rewards from the new Shadow Tower as well. Basically, these legendary tomes have a weekly reset, and they reset on Mondays along with Shadow Towers, which is really weird. I would have thought they would have reset on Tuesdays, but that's all right. Mondays, Tuesdays, it's one day apart. But anyway, so these legendary tomes, there are 4 of them. The Eye and Tentacle tomes, which give a very large amount of eyes and tentacles, can be bought from the Shadow Towers. And then the Chaos and Dragon legendary tomes can be bought from the store, or you can also get them in a new pack, which I'll get to in the store news in a bit. So the Chaos tome, every week that you fill out the experience bar, because you can only fill out the bar for the legendary tome once a week. So this has a weekly cooldown. So what you'll do is, like on Monday when you log in, you'll switch to your legendary tome, and then when you fill that out and it's finished and you get your reward from that, you'll switch back to your normal tomes, and then you'll just get those which don't have a reset at all. So the Chaos tome, once a week you can get, and these also, all 4 legendary tomes share 1 cooldown, which means you can only fill up 1 legendary tome per week. So keep that in mind when you're picking which one you want to do on Monday, during the reset. So basically, the Chaos tome, when you fill that up, you're going to get 10 Chaos chests. And those are the ones that you buy from the store, and you open them up and you get a bunch of random stuff. They randomize them every week. So if you fill out the Chaos chest, you will get 10 Chaos chests. If you fill out the Chaos tome, the legendary Chaos tome, you get 10 Chaos chests. If you fill out the Dragon legendary tome, you're going to get 3 Dragon coins. And those are used for the previous Dragon souls, as well as the Radiant gear. I think you're gonna end up needing like 3 to 4 Dragon coins per piece of Radiant gear, but I might be wrong as well on that. But either way, that's what the coins are for. So you're gonna want to be getting those and filling them up. My personal favorite is definitely got to be the Chaos coin, or the Chaos tome, just because I love opening Chaos chests. But it's really going to be up to you, depending on what you need. If you need Radiant gear, or you just want to get the old dragons, then you're going to want to get your Dragon tome and fill that up, so that way you can get those rewards. Let's see here. And that's pretty much it for tomes. We also got a challenge revamp this previous week, and basically it's been completely revamped, and it's not necessarily useless, but it's a weird change. So they revamped the Dragon Cage, and the Dragon Cage has less flux and more Dragon souls and more Dragon coins, and no more Pentaforged souls. So keep that in mind when you're opening up your Dragon Cages. Don't be looking for Pentaforged souls, because they're gone. They still exist. You still have to craft the gear to... Oh, another tropical volcano fish. So basically, how the new challenges work is it's still hourly reset, but the first challenge that you complete requires 5 points or whatever. Actually, it just popped up on the video. So the first challenge requires 5 points, and that is going to give you, if you get those 5 points for doing the dungeons, it's going to get you 2 dragon cages, as well as 1 time per day a dragon soul of whatever the dragon soul is that particular month. I think it's monthly they reset the dragons. And then after that, you're going to get to the next level or next bracket, and that requires 40 points of doing dungeons. And that is going to give you 2 more dragon cages. And then the third tier, which requires 99, will give you another dragon soul. And this week only, they are actually doubling up the daily dragon soul. So the first time you complete the first tier challenge mode, you will actually get 2 dragon souls, but just for this week, and then it's going to go back to 1. And the ones you unlock from straight up doing the challenges, are not tradable. The only tradable dragon souls are from the dragon cages. So, and now the world is kind of flooding with dragon souls, and so it's really interesting to see how that is going to change the marketplace for souls. Also, Uber 6 now is a 4 times point multiplier instead of 9. So if you are the class of that chosen challenge mode, you are only going to get, I think it's 14 or 15 points per dungeon. But it only takes about 10 minutes tops to finish the dungeon. So to finish the challenge of that hour. So it's not too bad, but just depending on the group size is how fast you're going to get that challenge done. So let's see, and that's really about it for this patch, and that's really about it for everything else. Yeah, I want to fish still. There we go. So in the store, I mentioned a pack earlier, and so in this pack is the Lunacy pack, and it's to celebrate the Lunar Lancer launching. And inside of the Lunacy pack, there is 2 Lunar Lancer costumes, 2 fox mounts, the 2 legendary tomes, which is the dragon and the chaos tomes, and that's it. It's $20 United States dollars, or convert it to whatever your currency is, depending on how or where you're listening at. And I'd say it is the best pack there's been since the beginner pack, and the adventurous pack as well. The 2 tomes alone are, I mean, just looking through the store itself, 2,500 credits, or yeah, 2,500 credits each, and that in itself ends up being about, I want to say, just the price alone for those is about $10-15 tops. So right there, looking at the tomes, it's already $30. Roundabout. We'll round down just to be generous. You're already at $20. You get your bang for your buck just from the tomes, and then on top of that, you get 2 class costumes for the Lunar Lancer and the 2 Foxy mounts as well. And you also get the class. I also forgot about that. So you also get the Lunar Lancer. It's a really great deal, and it's definitely something to pick up. So, and also new to the store are hourly deals instead of daily. So these hourly deals are exactly the same as before, kind of, but they pretty much change every hour. That's about it. So, and there's no $5 reward. It's just 20 and above. So, yeah, that's really it. That's kind of it for this week. A bunch of miscellaneous changes: bald hairstyle, new wings at mastery level 10, and challenges are unlocked at level 20. So that's really it. That's really about it. Yeah. So, congrats to Team Synergy for being world first moon goddess on heroic. Took him 42 minutes. So, and also check out the Tiny's Tower tutorial on YouTube for the boss guides. So, if you're interested in that as well. That's really going to be about it. Community spotlight for this week is Basuken. It's kind of a double feature kind of thing because 2 weeks ago, last week, whenever I did an episode on my Mac, I was going to play his song, and I did not get a chance to because I didn't have a PC that week. So I'm actually kind of going to play myself out with a song from his YouTube channel. But basically, Basuken does remakes of very popular songs in Trove's music. What are they called? Like note blocks. So, and I'll play that on my way out. And you can find all those links in the show notes as well. And you can find the show notes at whatsupwithtrove.blogspot.com. You can email me at whatsupwithtrove@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at Alan91330. And I think that's it. What am I missing? I'm missing something. Oh, the show notes. What's up with Trove? No, I said the show notes. What's up with Trove.blogspot.com. And oh yeah, you can find the audio on SoundCloud, Stitcher, and iTunes. That's really gonna be it. I need to push this button here and this button. So I will see you all next week. Yeah, so have an enjoyable week in Trove, and I will see you all later. And so if you didn't catch what that song was, that was DuckTales. 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 Ooh. So that's it. That's all. Shout outs to the official Basuken. Link to his stuff on YouTube and in the show notes and all that other jazz. So that is about it. And I will see you all next week. Bye.